Well, I have my news up here at the subway in Kanda. This is News 360. My name is Alfred Okansi.
And I am Portia Gabo. Coming up, the headlines.
Headlines is brought to you by Deluxe Acrylic Paint, Heaven Insecticide Spray and Coil,
Kel Charcoal Toothpaste,
and Apart Foods,
My Life Insurance.
Tonight, Presidency dismisses petition filed by Alliance for Social Equity and Public Accountability, ASEPA, which demanded a probe into a $5 million bribery allegation against the Chief Justice, Eniyaboa.
And also coming up, the West African Examinations Council denies any leakage in this year's WASI. Meanwhile, Executive Director of the African Education Watch, Kofi Asare, says the paper leaked.
Tonight, Fix the Country movement launches drive to collect more than 1 million signatories to demand a new constitution for the country. We'll explore their proposition as we go on the bulletin tonight.
Presidential Advisor on Health, Dr. Anthony Siasare, explains the sources of funding for Government Agenda 111 hospital projects.
And in business this evening, fuel prices up again by 2% across major fuel pumps.
On the international front, U.S. Food and Drugs Administration gives full approval to Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine for people 16 and older.
Well, live on TV3 Ghana on Facebook, DSTV channel 279, and all across the world on 3news.com. And guess what? If you haven't downloaded the 3 News app, we encourage you to go onto your Google Play Store or the App Store and download the 3 News app, and let's get connected and interact. Let's go into our first story this evening. As the West African Examinations Council, WAEC, has denied that the food and nutrition paper for this year's WASI leaked. At a media briefing in Accra, Head of National Office Wendy Adi-Lamte said the information is fake, untrue and misleading. Executive Director of the Africa Education Watch, Kofi Asare, on August 20, if you recall, posted what he claimed was a leaked WASI paper on social media.
The Executive Director of African Watch, Kofi Asare, said he had drawn WAEC's attention to withdraw the paper, but reacting to the issue, Head of WAEC National Office, Wendy Adi-Lamte, said the information is fake and misleading.
We wish to state emphatically that the information put out by EduWatch about the alleged leakage of the foods and nutrition paper is untrue, is misleading, and is creating anxiety among the candidates and our publics. The actual question paper requested candidates to prepare, cook, and serve a 3-course meal for an ulcer patient. Whilst the purported leaked paper received from EduWatch requested for a 2-course meal for a lactating mother. These 2 questions are totally different.
She noted such information has a tendency to cause public anxiety and undermine the credibility of the examination and the institution.
Much as we appreciate the need for all stakeholders to be interested in preserving the integrity of our national examinations, we must ensure that we do the necessary due diligence before issuing out any reports. And these reports, when this is not done, have the tendency of misleading the public, causing unnecessary anxiety, and undermining the credibility of the examination. If care is not taken, reputations of institutions and the nation as a whole could be irreparably damaged in the eyes of the international community.
Wendy Lamte urged students to ignore websites and WhatsApp groups asking candidates to join for assistance during the examination.
We wish to caution all candidates to be wary of the activities of such websites. They would deceive them and turn their attention from their books. We want to advise all candidates who have joined such platforms to exit them immediately and concentrate on their studies. The security operatives are on the alert and have assured us that they are working to bring these perpetrators to book.
She, however, hinted of legal action against the African Education Watch. In all, 446,321 candidates from 965 senior high schools, made up of 651 public and 314 private, are expected to sit for the examination. 221,437 males and 234,884 female candidates are eligible to write the examination, which according to WAEC is over 18% increase compared to 2020.
Meanwhile, the executive director of the Africa Education Watch, Kofi Asare, in response to WAEC insists the paper did leak. He challenged WAEC to show the actual documents presented to them as evidence to the public.
Food and Nutrition 3 paper, which was written on Friday, 20th August 2021 at 1:30, got leaked onto social media platforms. We are all going to monitor, and also on the ground, we are going to monitor the conduct of the examination, so that if WAEC comes and says B, you yourself can tell WAEC that, well, we saw A, the security system surrounding our questions is very weak. Let's strengthen the security. Let's digitize the questions transform or processes the human element from the question of questions.
So WAEC is insisting that this is fake. The Africa Education Watch says what they have is authentic. They're threatening a legal action. We'll see how this pans out in the coming days. But the presidency has dismissed a petition filed by the Alliance for Social Equity and Public Accountability, ASEPA, who demanded a probe into Chief Justice Eni Yeboah in respect of an alleged bribe of some $5 million. Now, Jifa Bampo sums up the details of the letter.
Last week, the Council of State provided its report to the presidency about whether the Chief Justice had a case to answer in reference to a bribery allegation of $5 million made against him by a lawyer. Well, today, the presidency has formally written to ASEPA, the civil society organization that filed the petition asking for an investigation. The presidency has determined that the outcome of the Council of State's investigations indicate that there is no establishment of a prima facie case against the Chief Justice. In a 12-page letter written to ASEPA, the presidency indicated that the evidence adduced by ASEPA in Exhibits A and B did not provide enough evidence for a prima facie established against the Chief Justice. Hence, it proceeds to dismiss ASEPA's petition, deeming it without merit.
Meanwhile, the Alliance for Social Equity and Public Accountability, ASEPA, says the decision by Shraj to discontinue bribery allegation investigation is brought against the Chief Justice's constitutional rights and may seek legal redress. Addressing the media in Accra, the executive director of ASEPA, Mensa Thompson, says the fact that it petitioned two entities does not warrant Shraj to stop its investigation, arguing the two petitions were different.
The end games are different. Shraj will only investigate the matter and come out with a report, whether the allegations are true or false. The petition with the president is to cause for the removal of the Chief Justice or for punitive sanctions if indeed there is any iota of truth in the allegations. The two are not the same. Where in the Shraj Act does it say that an action commenced in the same matter in another forum automatically truncates an ongoing investigations by Shraj? If you take a critical read at Shraj's report, Shraj itself engaged in a number of procedural violations in churning out this report. Apart from the fact that it exquisitely violated the rights of we the complainants when it arrogated to elect which of our petitions to stay and which one should proceed, contrary to their own reference case. The Council of State has completed their work. Now the president is saying he is also going to appraise the Council of State with his own findings to ensure they are on the same page. What is this? Who asked the president for his opinion in this matter? We contend that the president should not interfere with this constitutional process and must stick to his functions as spelled out in Article 146 of the 1992 Constitution.
Away from this, the Fix the Country movement has launched a drive to collect more than 1 million signatories to demand a new constitution for the Republic of Ghana. At a media briefing, the group argued that the country's constitution supports huge levels of inequality and must be addressed.
We are all involved in building Ramadan.
The Fix the Country movement has for months been demanding better conditions for the ordinary Ghanaian through protests. The group is now calling for a new constitution. They contend the 1992 constitution supports huge levels of inequality and must be changed.
A lot of our problems tie back to a constitution that allows the political class to be able to defraud the people. And at the heart of that political class and the power they have is a fraudulent document. And that document is the 1992 constitution. And we want to be able to replace that constitution with a new one that gives everybody a hope for economic justice. We have asked for 1 million signatures of Ghanaians calling for a vote of no confidence in that constitution.
Reacting to claims of political belonging, convener of the movement, Oliver Baka-Vomawo, indicated that the group is an independent one and just concerned about the ordinary Ghanaian.
We have no interest in mobilizing as a youth wing of the NDC. They can do that for themselves. Ours is about a different conversation. We want a conversation irrespective of what party is in power, that when I am hungry, hunger does not wait for regime change. When I am tired and I want to go to the hospital, nobody asks me for MPP party card. Nobody asks me for NDC party card. That is the conversation we want to have.
The movement says it will replicate in all 16 regions their protest to demand accountability and better living conditions from government, beginning from the Western.
We're going to Takoradi because that's the home region of Kwame Nkrumah. And we are doing so on the 21st of September. The idea that we'll go to every region before we come back to Accra and do the final big one is that we want to give the chance to every person, irrespective of where you are.
On the emergence of an opposing group fixing the country, Commander-in-Chief of the Economic Fighters League, Ernesto Yeboah, said it did not matter.
What are they saying? We want the country.
That the constitution